Dear students, let me cover today clipping of polygons. We have already discussed about clipping and clipping in point clipping. We also have discussed line clipping. In line clipping, we studied two algorithms, Cohen-Sutherland line clipping algorithm and Liang-Barsky line clipping algorithm. Now, let us talk about clipping of polygons, how a polygon can be clipped against a given window. Let us take, for example, a triangle, which is a polygon with three edges. If I want to clip a triangle against a given clipping window, now I can apply the Cohen-Sutherland or maybe Liang-Barsky line clipping algorithm for each of the three edges of the triangle, and thereby I can obtain the clipping of the triangle. As you know that here in this example, we have a triangle with three edges AB, BC, CA, and as you know that there are two edges of the polygon, that is triangle. They are intersecting with the boundary of the clipping window here, and I can apply the line clipping algorithm for each of the three edges of the triangle and obtain the clipping. And after the clipping, the result of the clipping would be something like this, where you can see that this is the visible portion of the triangle. This will be retained, and everything which is invisible, that is going to be eliminated, and you can see the result of the clipping would be two line segments which are called fragments. So this kind of clipping may result into a fragments, and therefore what is expected actually here is that instead of these two line segments, we are supposed to get a polygon again after clipping, which is a closed figure. This is the expected result of clipping. So for this, we can see that the line clipping algorithm can be applied, but it results into fragments, and these fragments are unexpected. After clipping also, after clipping any polygon, we should be in a position to get the closed figure like this. So this is the expected result, and for this there are different algorithms, and one of the very popular polygon clipping algorithm that we can use for clipping of polygons is known as Sutherland-Hodgman polygon clipping algorithm. The Sutherland-Hodgman polygon clipping algorithm consists of 4 boundary clippers So the block diagram of the Sutherland-Haugman polygon clipping algorithm consists of 4 blocks. The first one is known as left boundary clipper. Then right boundary clipper. And the third one, bottom boundary clipper. And top boundary clipper. So the pipeline, weaving pipeline consists of 4 blocks: left boundary clipper, right boundary clipper, bottom boundary clipper, top boundary clipper, corresponding to the 4 boundaries of the clipping window. Now let us take a simple again example, a triangle, and how a triangle would be clipped. Let's take a triangle. A given triangle is like this, and using Sutherland-Haugman polygon clipping algorithm, how this is going to be clipped. A given triangle is going to be clipped. Now let us see working of the left boundary clipper first. This left boundary clipper is a clipper which clips against the left boundary of the clipping window. This is the left boundary. So anything towards the left of this left boundary is going to be eliminated, and which is on the right hand side of this left boundary is going to be retained. And as you know that in this given problem, the left boundary is not intersecting with any of the edges, and hence there is no change after applying the left boundary clipper. Now the same thing, the action will now be forwarded to right boundary clipper, and as you know that when a right boundary clipper is a clipper which will clip the given polygon against the right boundary. This is the right boundary. So any object which is lying to the right of this right boundary clipper is invisible, which is required to be eliminated, and the one which is to the left of this right boundary is a visible portion, and hence it has to be retained. So you can see that after applying this right boundary clipper, I will extend this right boundary clipper with a dotted line, and when you apply the right boundary clipper to the given triangle, as you know that everything after this right boundary clipper is invisible, so this portion is going to be eliminated, and the result of this right boundary clipper is going to be so this is the visible portion. So anything to the right is simply eliminated, and anything to the left of this right boundary clipping will be retained without any change. So this is the result which will be applied now for the next boundary clipper, that is bottom boundary clipper. The bottom boundary clipper is now this one. So when you apply the bottom boundary clipper, you can see from the figure that the bottom boundary is not going to intersect with any of the 3 edges, and hence there is no change in the clipping. So the same figure is going to be now transferred to the next boundary clipper, which is a top boundary clipper. Now for this top boundary clipper, as you know that anything above this boundary, this is the top boundary. So any object lying above the top boundary is going to be eliminated because it is invisible, and the one which is below this top boundary is required to be retained, and hence the result of applying the top boundary clipper to the polygon now is going to be this portion, which is on the top of the right boundary, which is outside the clipping window, which will be invisible, and therefore we are going to eliminate the portion above the top boundary, and after clipping what remains is this one. So this is the expected result, and hence we can see that by applying these 4 boundary clippers, how a clipping of any polygon, it may be a triangle or any other polygon, how the step by step the clipping of the object, the polygon, is going to be carried out. Well, actually for the implementation of this Sutherland clipping algorithm, we apply a list of vertices for each of the boundary clippers. Let us give the names for these vertices A, B, C. So to start with, we will have the 3 vertices A, B, C. This is the input list of vertices, and these input list of vertices will be given to the left boundary clipper. Now when left boundary clipper is applied to the given boundary clippers, you know that there are 3 vertices which are required to be processed. Input list of vertices are A, B, C, and these 3 ABC vertices are given to the left boundary. And how these 3 vertices are processed? These 3 vertices are processed using the rules. The 4 rules are there. In order to process the vertices, we will be applying these 4 rules for processing the vertices. The 4 rules are like this. Let us take for example the first rule. Here the 2 vertices, consider the 2 vertices. One of the vertex is outside the clipping window, and another one, the second one, is within the clipping window. So here the edge is progressing from A to B. A is outside and B is inside, and therefore this is a case in which the edge is progressing from outside to inside case. And for this case, what we are required to do is we have to get the intersection point of the edge with the left boundary. Let us say the intersection point is A dash. Now when you find the intersection point, there are 3 vertices for the given edge, A, A dash and B, where A dash is the point of intersection which is determined. And now under this case we are required to save the three out of the three vertices. We have to require to save the intersection point A dash and the second vertex, that is B. That means we have to ignore the input vertex A. So this is the rule to be applied whenever any edge crosses from outside to inside towards a particular boundary, and under this case there is going to be a point of intersection that is required to be determined, and out of these resulting three vertices, the intersection point as well as the second vertex have to be saved. Let us take the second case, second rule. Here in this case you have a edge AB in which A and B are the two vertices. Both these vertices are inside the clipping window, and under such case we are required to save only the second point, save the second vertex, that is B. That means we have to just ignore the vertex A, only save B, because there is no question of intersection point here, because the edge is not crossing any boundaries, and therefore under this case we have only two vertices left, out of which only the second one has to be saved and eliminate the first one, A. Let us consider the third case once again. Here in the third case the edge AB is once again crossing a boundary here, for which we have to determine a point of intersection A dash, and under this case the rule is that whenever a edge crosses the boundary starting from inside to outside, because the vertex A is inside the clipping window whereas the vertex B is outside the clipping window, and when such a edge crosses a boundary by progressing from inside to outside, we have to determine the point of intersection and save only the intersection point, that is A dash. Then the final case, the fourth one, the edge AB has been shown totally outside of the clipping window, so neither A nor B, they are inside the clipping window, and this is a case in which none of the vertices are inside the clipping window. Here the edge progressing from A to B is completely outside the clipping window. If this is the case, then save none. You are not required to save any of the vertices. That means ignore both the vertices. So each edge of the polygon is going to be processed by applying these four rules and thereby get the clipping of window. So let us apply these four rules and get the clipping of a triangle. Again consider A, B, C. These are the three vertices of the given triangle, and for the left boundary let us see how is the working of the left boundary clipper. You have the three vertices of the triangle A, B, C, which are the input list of vertices which are given to the left boundary. Now left boundary is lying here. Anything to the left of this boundary is required to be eliminated because that is outside the left boundary, and any object which is lying towards the right is required to be retained because it is a visible portion. So now as far as the left boundary clipper is considered, all these three vertices A, B, C, they are lying to the right of this left boundary clipper. That means they are within the clipping window, and hence we will be applying the second rule, because this corresponds to a case in which the two vertices of the edges, they are inside the clipping window. Both are inside. So for each edge here, AB, for AB, A and B are inside. For BC, B and C are also inside. And for CA, both are inside. So after applying this, the second case, as far as the left boundary clipper is concerned, what we are going to see is that all the three vertices are lying inside, and here the processing of the vertex is, for each edge we have to save the second vertex. So for AB, the second vertex is B. For BC, the second vertex is C. And for CA, the second vertex is A. So you can see that the result of applying the left boundary clipper to the triangle, we have given ABC as the input list of vertices, and left boundary clipper results into the three vertices BCA. So there is no change as far as the left boundary clipper. This is obvious because the left boundary do not intersect with any of the edges of the polygon. The next thing is now right boundary clipper. For right boundary clipper, now the input list of vertices are BCA. BCA. So the right boundary clipper is here. This is the right boundary of the clipping window, and anything to the right of this right boundary clipper is outside the clipping window, and any object lying to the left of this boundary is inside. This is inside, this is outside, and therefore any object lying in the outside portion needs to be eliminated, and any object which is lying in this portion has to be retained because it is visible, because it is inside. Well, now BCA are the vertices, and now we are applying the right boundary clipper. The right boundary clipper is going to clip this triangle against the right boundary. Now let us consider the three cases. There are again three edges starting from AB. Let's say we will start with AB. AE, you can see that AE is outside the clipping window and B is inside. Vertex B is inside, and vertex A is outside, and this edge intersects with the right boundary here. We will determine this intersection point, and let us name this intersection point as A dash. A dash. Now, if you compare this particular case with all these four rules, this particular case is such that the edge is progressing from A to B. That means it starts with the vertex A and reaches towards the B. So A lies outside, B lies inside. So outside to inside case. So this is the first rule, and for AB edge we have to select the first rule because it is the outside to inside case. For outside to inside case, what we are required to save are the intersection point A dash and the second vertex, that is B. A dash B we have to be saved, and we must ignore A. Now after AB we have to consider BC. The edge BC is also intersecting with the right boundary, and we will have to determine the point of intersection again. Let us call this point of intersection with the name B dash. We have to determine the point of intersection B dash because the edge is intersecting the right boundary here. So now we have B dash C. The edge is progressing from B to C. B, the vertex B is inside and the vertex C is outside. This is inside and this is outside, and we are progressing from inside to outside. Inside to outside. So this is the rule, this is the case in which there is a progress from inside to outside. So we have already determined the point of intersection, which is named as B dash here. And what we are supposed to do under this case is that we have to save only the second vertex. So out of the three vertices B, B dash, C, the second vertex is C. So only C has to be saved. We have to ignore both B and B dash. Now the last one, that is C to A. Now consider the edge CA, in which C is the first vertex and the edge is progressing from C to A. A is the second vertex. And let us see the location of these two vertices. C is outside the right boundary. A is also outside the right boundary. And under this case, this particular case matches with the fourth rule, in which you can see that both the two vertices are outside the clipping window, and therefore this particular case matches, with the fourth. And when it is the fourth case, we are not required to save any of the vertices. So both C as well as A are required to be ignored. So both these are ignored, and that's how we have completed the three edges. And the result of this is saved here, A dash, B, comma, C. So these are the vertices which are remaining after applying the right boundary clipper. And now these three vertices will act as the input list of vertices for the next boundary, that is bottom boundary clipper. And for this bottom boundary clipper, A dash, we have A dash, so A dash is here. Then we have B, this is B, and then we have C, we have C here, and this is the picture which is there for bottom boundary clipper. Now bottom boundary clipper this is the bottom boundary, and for a bottom boundary, any object lying outside this boundary is within the clipping window, it lies inside the clipping window. Any object which is below this boundary clipper lies outside the clipping window. So this is the outside portion and here is the inside portion. So as far as the bottom boundary concerned, you can see that the three vertices A dash, B, C, all are lying inside the clipping window, and therefore this particular case matches with the second rule, wherein for each of the three edges both the vertices are inside. So under this case, how we have to process the vertices is that we have to save the second vertex. So let us start for AB. The AB second vertex is B. For BC, the second vertex is C, and for CA dash, the second vertex is A dash. So you can get the three vertices against the bottom boundary, which is the same as the input list. That means there is no change as far as the bottom boundary clipper is concerned. So B, C, A dash are the vertices which are the input list of vertices for the next boundary clipper, that is top boundary clipper. Now for the top boundary clipper, the result is this is your A dash, B and C, and this is the situation, B, C, A dash are the list of vertices, input list of vertices for the top boundary. This is the top boundary. As far as the top boundary is concerned, any object lying above this boundary is outside the clipping window. Any object lying below the boundary is inside the boundary, and hence now we should consider all the three edges of this particular triangle and investigate whether any of these four cases will apply. So let us start with the first edge A dash B. As far as A dash B is concerned, the edge intersects the top boundary here. So we will determine this point of intersection and let us name it with name, say C dash. C dash is the name given to the intersection point where the edge A dash B intersects with the top boundary. So we have to determine A dash, C dash. Now for this edge there are three vertices, A dash, C dash, B, out of which the A dash, we are progressing from A dash to B. Under this case, A dash is outside whereas B is inside. So this case is from outside to inside case. Outside to inside case, yeah, the first one. This matches with the first one, and for this we are to save the intersection point and the second vertex. So the intersection point here is C dash and the second vertex is B. So we are required to save C dash and B. That means we ignore A dash. Now let us take the next edge, that is BC. So here we are progressing from B to C. So for B to C we can see that once again the edge is not intersecting with the boundary. This is the top boundary, and neither B and C, both are inside the clipping window, and therefore it is not intersecting with the top boundary. B, C are the two vertices which are found to be inside, and therefore this matches with the case number 2, in which both the vertices of the edge are inside. Under this case we have to save the second vertex. So as far as BC is concerned, the second vertex is C, and therefore ignore B and retain C. And now the third edge, C to A, we are progressing from the vertex C and reaching A dash. As far as this C A dash edge is concerned, the edge intersects the top boundary here. So we will need to find out the intersection point, and let us give the name for this as D dash. So after determining the point of intersection of this edge with the top boundary, we have given the point of intersection as D dash. There are three vertices now, C, D dash, A dash. Now as far as, here the three vertices are C, D dash, A dash, out of which now this case is the edge vertex C is inside whereas A dash is outside. So this case is from inside to outside. It is inside to outside. So this, the third rule, it matches with the third rule wherein it is a progressing from inside to outside, and when an edge intersects from inside to outside, we have to save only the point of intersection. So for the edge C to A dash, the point of intersection is D dash. So we are required to save D dash. So this is how we are applying the Sutherland-Hogman algorithm to get the clipping of a polygons. This is one of the a popular polygon clipping algorithm, and we have seen that how the 4 boundary clippers are used, and we are applying these boundary clippers with the input list of vertices. Finally, whatever the list of vertices that we get at the end of the 4th boundary clipper, we have to render them to get the clipped triangle. So the clipped triangle is going to be obtained after rendering these 4 boundary clippers, and this is what we are going to get after the 4th boundary clipper. So this particular example shows how to apply a polygon can be clipped using Sutherland-Hogman polygon clipping algorithm. Now, one more topic that I would like to introduce is the clipping in 3 dimensions. Clipping in 3D. So far we were talking about the clipping only in 2-dimensional cases, 2-dimensional objects. Now how about the clipping of 3-dimensional objects? Let us say, for example, we have been given a object, any object, and we have been given a clipping volume which is a cube. Clipping volume is a, now instead of clipping window in 3D we have clipping volume which is a cube. Clipping volume is a cube, something like this, and now we are required to clip the objects for 3-dimensional objects. Let us say, for example, you have a cylinder and this cylinder is required to be clipped against the given clipping window. How you are going to apply? Now, as far as the 3-dimensional objects are concerned, the clipping can be applied by simply extending the Cohen-Sutherland line clipping algorithm. So we already know Cohen-Sutherland line clipping algorithm. And the same thing can also be extended for 3-dimensional objects. Now in Cohen-Sutherland line clipping algorithm, if you can remember, the clipping window, this is a clipping window, and the clipping window divides the 2-dimensional space into 9 different regions. The regions are, this is the first region, then this is top, this is bottom, and this is left, this is the right. You have here left top, this is right top, and here bottom right, and you have here left bottom. These are the 9 regions, and as you know, in Cohen-Sutherland line clipping algorithm we make use of an outcode. Outcode for 2-dimensional clipping is a 4-bit code. The 4-bit code for 2-dimensional objects can be written as T, B, R, L. T stands for top, B stands for bottom, R stands for right, and L for left. So we are applying a binary code, and the binary code assignment is according to these four cases. And when you code them with this particular coding system, you know that the outcode for the portion which is inside the clipping window will have a boundary code or outcode as all zeros, whereas the top boundary clipper means only top is 1, remaining are 0 0, therefore the boundary code here is 1 0 0, whereas for bottom 0 1 0 0, for left 0 0 0 1, for right 0 0 1 0, and for remaining, for left top the code is 1 0 0 1, for right top the code is right is 0 0 1 0, and hence it is 1 0 1 0. For bottom it is 0 1 0 1 1 0, and for left bottom it is 0 1 0 1. So these are the outcodes which we have seen in Cohen-Sutherland line clipping algorithm. Now the same thing can also be applied for three-dimensional objects. Instead of 4-bit code, now we are going to add two more to this, and the two more codes are required to be given as far and near. F is for far and N is for near. So the boundary code will be now 6 bits corresponding to far, near, top, bottom, red and light, and therefore we have to use a 6-bit boundary code for a clipping volume. So any object which lies inside this clipping window will have a boundary code, all are zeros, 1 2 3 4 5 6. So this is the boundary code as far as any object is concerned which is lying inside the clipping window. Anything to the left boundary will have a boundary code 0 0 0 0 0 1. Anything to the right of this will have 0 0 0 3 zeros 0 1 0. Anything to this top will have a boundary code 0 0 1 0 0 0, and anything to the below of this clipping window will have the bottom bit is 1, that is 0 0 0 1 0 0. This is the 6-bit code for any object lying below the portion of the clipping volume. So these are the 4 clipping for region codes. We can also determine other remaining codes, like for example what is the boundary code for the remaining portion. Anything towards the back of this, anything which is behind the clipping volume will be having a code where far bit is 1, therefore the code here is 1 0 and all other are 0 0 0. Anything object which is in front of the front surface of the clipping volume will be near, and near bit will be 1 0 1 0 0 0 0. So these are the 6 individual boundary codes. The remaining boundary code can be similarly obtained, and thereby we can get how many altogether? These regions the total regions for the three-dimensional boundary clipper is obtained, and we can process these region codes by applying the same rules as we have used in the Cohen-Sutherland line clipping algorithm. After finding the region codes, we can apply the same rules of Cohen-Sutherland line clipping algorithm, and thereby we can get the clipping of three-dimensional objects. With the only change that we have here is, instead of 4-bit region code, we have now 6 bits of region codes. So this algorithm, Cohen-Sutherland algorithm, is simply extended for clipping of three-dimensional objects. You can also make use of Liang-Barsky line clipping algorithm similarly, and we can clip the three-dimensional objects against a given clipping window, something similar to Liang-Barsky line clipping algorithm. So that completes the topic on clipping. So in clipping, what we have considered is that what is the operation clipping, why clipping is required, and we have seen a point clipping, we have seen line clipping, in which we learnt 2 algorithms, Cohen-Sutherland line clipping algorithm, Liang-Barsky line clipping algorithm. And then next we also learnt about a polygon clipping algorithm. The polygon clipping algorithm is the Sutherland-Hodgman line polygon clipping algorithm. And finally we also seen how we can extend the clipping algorithms for three-dimensional objects. So that is the end of the chapter on clipping.